Pokud máte rádi bluegrass, tak věřím, že vám náš dnešní host udělá radost. A pokud bluegrass rádi nemáte, tak věřím, že taky. Protože s tak výjimečným houslistou se člověk tak často nesetká. Nebyl náhodou vyhlášen po 8 let nejlepším bluegrassovým houslistou této planety a jeho kapela získala celkem 4krát titul nejlepšího instrumentálního souboru. Vítám na plovárně houslistu Michaela Clevelanda, kterému přišel pomoci ještě jeho kolega z kapely, výborný kytarista, pan Tom Adams. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. So, I'll start with Michael. You were born in Indiana?
Yeah, that's right.
And that's close to Kentucky and Tennessee?
Yeah.
So I guess you must have heard bluegrass music since your childhood, is that right?
Actually, what happened, my grandparents were huge bluegrass fans. And they started taking me to all these little bluegrass jam sessions and things in the area. I mean, I heard that they took me to those things in a stroller. So just right after I was born, they started taking me to these. And I heard the fiddle for the first time when I was 4. I heard the fiddle player play Orange Blossom Special, and I knew that from then on, that I wanted to play.
Did your grandparents play?
No, they didn't play. That's
just fans.
Yeah, they just loved the music, and I think my grandma probably could have played if she would have started, but no, they never did play.
Yeah, because if you listen to these great guys as Doug Watson or Bill Monroe, they quite often say, this is a tune I learned from my grandmother or granduncle.
Right.
So I thought, if in your repertoire is a song which you would say, yes, that's from my grandma or granduncle or from some relatives.
Boy, that's a hard one. You got me there. I can't think of anything right offhand. We'll play you this is a traditional bluegrass tune. We'll play you a little bit of one called Leather Breeches. Great. Trying to get warmed up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
The critics always admire that you are playing the old style. What is the difference between old style and if you should compare it with contemporary modern country style? Is there any difference?
I don't know, Tom. What do you think?
I would describe it as Mike and everyone in the band having studied the first generation of bluegrass musicians dating back to the first recordings, Bill Monroe and Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, Jimmy Martin, and Mike has studied all the fiddle players associated with their recordings from the late 1940s and 50s on up to their most recent recordings. But I think just starting with the older music as a base, Mike, rather than starting with a fiddle player who came on the scene just 10 or 15 years ago. Mike has studied decades of fiddle playing from 50 and 60, 70 years ago.
I'm looking on your fiddle, and I was thinking all the time, what's strange with a fiddle? And you've got 5 strings on the fiddle, is that right?
Yep.
I see it for the first time in my life, 5-string fiddle.
Yep, that's a 5-string fiddle, and the 5th string, are you familiar with a viola?
No.
Okay, alright, well the 5th string on this fiddle is a C string. It's a low C. It sounds like that.
Yes.
A viola, it has A, D, G, and C,
Yes.
and the violin has E, A, D, and G usually.
Yeah.
Well, so I kind of have best of both worlds, you could say.
And is this a kind of fiddle that is frequently used in bluegrass?
There's a few players that have. Bobby Hicks, the guy I just mentioned, he plays a 5-string. And there's a great swing fiddle player, Johnny Gimble, who played a 5-string.
Yeah.
And there's a few players that use them. Casey Dreesen, he's a bluegrass fiddler who uses one. But it's a funny thing about this. This fiddle was made by a guy who lived in Indiana, not far from where I live. His name is John Silikowski.
Silikowski?
Yeah, it's a funny story about this fiddle. This guy from Alaska heard me playing one of John's fiddles that I'd had previous to this one. He said, "Man, that's a good sounding fiddle, you know, how can I get a hold of that guy, you know, who built it?" And so I got him in touch with John, and he sent John all this wood to build him a fiddle. So John, when he got it built, he brought it and 3 other fiddles over to this recording session we were doing. And we were sitting around, me and my buddy Jeff Guernsey were sitting around playing all these fiddles, trying them out. And I played this fiddle, and I said, "Man, I gotta have this." And he said, "Well, you can't have it. This guy from Alaska, he's already sent me this wood to build it, and you know he's got it. I got to send it to him." And I thought, well, there won't be no way that, yeah, he'll just love it once, you know, as soon as he hears it. And so I thought, I said, if there's any way, if he sends it back, I want first shot at it.
Yeah.
And so he sent it, and about a week later, John called and he said, "Yeah, he's sending it back. He doesn't like it." So I got
Lucky
it.
you. Lucky you.
Yep.
Did you have to go through this classical routine of etudes and all this stuff, I mean classical stuff, before you got on this incredible instrumental level?
I started by playing the Suzuki method.
Yes.
Which is a method where you learn how to play by ear. I'd say that's helped me a lot. And without the stuff that I've learned there, I wouldn't be able to play bluegrass or play period.
So how many hours did you practice daily?
You know, not enough. I need to be practicing more. Usually you play on the road, and then once you get home, you don't even want to think about playing, you know.
Yes.
But I've always been the kind of guy, I like to jam, I like to pick with other people, but if it's me just sitting around by myself, it's hard to make myself, I have to literally, you know, I have to really make myself get it out and practice.
Well, your personal heroes when you were a kid was Bill Monroe or these guys?
Yeah, Bill Monroe.
You had a chance to play with him, is that right?
I did.
What was it? Do you remember?
Wheelhouse. And I actually got to play with Bill Monroe a few times. The first time I was 9, and it was at Bing Blossom, Indiana, at his bluegrass festival there. I was part of the Sunset Jam. It was a tradition that Bill Monroe would go in front of this old oak tree, and they would set up a couple of mics, and anybody who wanted to come play with Bill Monroe could do that. So I got to do that a couple times. And then one time I got to play wheelhouse with him on stage at a festival.
Yeah.
And it was a real honor.
Well, I guess so. He must be a very charming person. Yeah.
He was really nice to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know him all that well. You know, I mean, I just met him those few times, but he was always nice to me.
Well, some of the songs he wrote,
Oh, man.
they are pretty difficult to play. I think the things you played now, would you call it middle tempo?
Yeah.
Yeah. To me it was fast enough. But I guess you have much more faster things in the repertoire, is it?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. We like playing fast.
Yeah? Show.
Oh, man. Boy.
All right.
Boy.
He's giving you a hard time.
He does.
It's
Every time.
difficult to catch him. It's difficult to catch him, yeah.
And that was a slow version of that song.
That
Oh,
was
yeah.
a slow version.
He goes faster.
Oh, jeez. I couldn't believe that living so close to the south that you couldn't be in touch with blues and that you wouldn't be influenced with blues.
Oh, yeah.
To me, it's interesting that blues is always teamed with instruments like guitar and piano and harmonica, but not so often with violin.
Right. But, you know, bluegrass has a lot of blues in it. With the fiddle not having frets, you can really slide those notes, you know. And Bill Monroe, you know, he listened to blues. He loved blues music.
So do you have any blues songs in your program?
Tom, what's 1, 2, 3? Yeah, well, that's, I was trying to think of something else. That's kind of the best demonstration I could think of.
I guess bluegrass is not something what you do for money.
Right.
Yeah?
I mean, you know, if you can do it and you can make, and you're fortunate enough to make money, yeah, that'd be great. But, you know, you gotta love it to do it.
Yeah. I guess you would play bluegrass even if you would not be not paid at all for
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Is it right?
Yep,
Yeah.
I would.
I think Mike would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. When you said you're playing mandolin at home,
Yeah.
maybe we could have a short example
Alrighty.
of
If I could-
Michael Cleveland playing mandolin.
Here's
Yeah.
the.
Can I help you?
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
What about a bluegrass stomp?
That's even better.
Yeah, it's on there somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Tell me, if you imagine you would come, let's say, to Mongolia, to a country where no one knows, and you should describe in words, they would ask you, what is this bluegrass about? What would you say?
It's a combination of styles of music. Bill Monroe learned to play from his Uncle Pen, and his Uncle Pen was an old-time fiddle player. There's definitely fiddle music has influenced bluegrass. Blues music, like we were talking about earlier, and also gospel music.
But generally, it's very optimistic, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
It's
a
full
lot
of
it is.
joy. It's full of joy.
Yes,
Yes.
a lot of love songs and
Yeah.
songs that have words, and just the songs that are instrumental only are yes, very very happy, upbeat sounding songs.
Even the sad songs sound happy
Yeah.
in bluegrass.
Yep.
You
Sometimes.
have all these kind of songs which describe murders or some horrible crimes.
Yeah.
And it sounds so funny.
Yeah.
Is Tennessee Waltz about something like that? It's also a kind of tragical text, isn't it?
It
It
is.
is
Yeah.
a tragic love song.
Yep.
And it sounds so optimistic.
Yeah. Yeah. I know it.
Don't you miss the opportunity that for a guitar player it's so easy to sing and play? For a violin player, it's not that easy, is it?
No, and to tell you the truth, I sing a little bit. I can sing parts, but I never really was one that, I never did want to be a lead singer.
Yeah.
Because I've heard myself sing, and I know better than that. But it's hard to sing and play fiddle. That's kind of difficult.
Yeah.
John Hartford.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The great John Hartford, had it down.
Yeah.
Playing the fiddle, singing, and dancing at the same time.
Yeah.
And we all still marvel at John Hartford.
Yeah.
He had this board that he'd set up on stage, and he'd play and dance on this dancing board.
Yeah.
And keep time and sing. He put on a one-man show, and he could do it.
Well, guys, what do you think? What kind of fiddle tune should we put on the end of our interview? What do you think?
Well, we could play Soldier's Joy if you wanted.
Okay.
Uh, Let's see.
Okay.
Here's.
Good with this. Great. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Dnes byli našimi hosty Michael Cleveland a Tom Adams. Oh, love me now, will you, honey? I won't wait for love, no money. Love gets so cold, all this time goes by. Take my heart, don't abuse it. Be my death if you refuse it. Love me now, 'cause I'm much too young to die. If you search the universe, I'm sure you'll never find. And after someone who could love you like this heart of mine. Take my heart, don't abuse it, be my girl if you refuse to love me now, 'cause I'm much too young to die. If you search the universe, I'm sure you'll never find another someone who could love you like this heart of mine. Take my heart, don't abuse it, be my death if you refuse to love me now, 'cause I'm much too young to die.
That's a cool song.
Oh, thanks so much.
Good guitar playing, man.
Thank you. Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, man.